man. Well, we might as well reintroduce ourselves. I go by the name of Kobo Karate. He's sipping on that brown, trying to get down, but I'm sipping on this iced tea, trying to motherfucking escape the motherfucking heat.
And it's your man D-Mobile Cross the Global. Don't buy shoes if they're BOGO. I just got some bootleg foam posits. I think they're bootleg, man. I'm about to take them and tie a rock to them and throw them through the window.
Yo, man. And the thing is that shit happened to me before, right? I remember buying a pair of Air Forces, Air Force One, some Uptowns, whatever, on eBay. They were white and red. And I was like, oh, I definitely gotta get them. And the price was great too. And I'm thinking like, yo, it was like $40. And I'm like, all right, I remember these pairs, like when they came out, they were a little bit older. They had to be, at the time, they're like 10 years old. So I thought, I'm getting a steal. I buy them and everything. I get it, and I'm just like, I look at the box. And back in the day, when you had the bootleg Jordans, the bootleg sneakers, back then when they had the Gucci print on them and all that, the box was smaller than the shoe. So the shoe looked like it was overstuffed in the box. So, and then you see the barcode, it's like a fake sticker and everything. So I received that, and I'm looking at that, I'm like, yo, niggas sold me fucking bootleg fucking kicks. And for some reason, I don't know why I wasn't thinking that wouldn't be possible on eBay. Long story short, I wore them one time, couldn't live with myself. I threw them shits away.
So I haven't been on sneakers for maybe 10 years to where I knew what was coming out or what was what. I don't know nothing no more, So I got excited. I saw some foam posits. Mm-hmm. They told me $220. They told me if I gave them cash, it'd be like $200. But then I had some old sneakers in my trunk. They told me, oh, you give us those in $90, you can take them. I was like, cool. Check falls off.
First of all, I'm not buying refurbished phones for $220. When they go in the store for retail for $235, $237 probably with tax.
Yeah, but nowadays, like, nah. But the way it works nowadays, used sneakers are more expensive.
No. Not used sneakers. No. It's not used sneakers. What you call it? Dead stock sneakers. Sneakers that are no longer out. It's not the simple fact that they're used. It's the simple fact that they're dead stock and they don't even exist anymore.
But what I'm saying is, back in our day, the minute you took a pair of sneakers out of the store, you couldn't sell them for anything more than what you paid for. Nowadays, if you buy a pair of sneakers and take them out of the store, you can sell it for double what you just bought them for.
Right, because they're dead stock and they're no longer. Because a lot of these sneakers that they come into stores limited.
Right, but what I'm saying is, sneakers go for more now than they did back in the day, even used.
Right, but no. It all depends on the shoe. It all depends on the shoe. So if you have like exclusive, like say like those dunks that came out, the Ben and Jerry dunks.
Yeah.
How they just came out right now, those sound for like damn near. And so if a person wears them one time, 2 or 3 times, yeah, they could. They're going right now. At retail, going right now for like $1,400, easy. Depending on what site, depending on the size and everything. Yeah, a person wears them like 3 or 4 times and they're still in good condition. They're still like a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, you can still get them off for probably like $800, $700. But that's that particular shoe. Not all shoes, but certain shoes. Like a shoe of that caliber, shoes like that. Yeah, they're definitely going more over retail, especially Warren. But they still have to be in.
My point is, back in the day, if you put the shoes on your feet, they were automatically like $100 cheaper than when you paid for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, just because niggas can't get them, you can still sell them for double. That's crazy to me.
Right. But what I'm saying is also is that when it comes to those foam posits, the only ones used that's going well over retail is like your Oregon foam phones, like certain ones, like the Supreme phone, like certain.
So you're saying that a pair of phones that cost $230 something in the store, used, will be less than $230?
Depending on what phones they are. If they ain't the Supreme phones, they ain't the Oregon Duck phones. If they're not
they go cheaper.
Okay.
They'll go cheaper because they're used.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen
that.
Yeah. I haven't seen that. Every time I see somebody resell shoes, they're getting at least what they paid for.
All depends on the shoe. All depends on the edition. All depends on the shoe. All depends on the edition. Like you get the fighter jet phones. You know what I'm saying? You use them. Yeah, you still might be able to sell them for retail, depending on how they look, because that's a specific phone. But you get the regular like Spider-Man phones. The person wears those one time. You're not getting those for retail. You're getting those under retail. It all depends on the shoe. But yeah, if I was you, I'd definitely talk to you.
Yeah, I'm not
or you can go online. You can go online and check. But yeah, man.
You said, or you could what?
I said, go online and check. It tells you, like, you go out and put like I forgot what website, but it shows all the phone products that came out, like up to like the latest edition. Like the first ones came out like the year and everything. Just put Google year released phone products, whatever, and it'll give you year by year what came out. And if you don't see them motherfuckers on that, oh yeah, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem. But anyways, yo, you got any confessions, man? Got any confessions on anything, any observations, anything like that you wanted to get out there that you didn't know?
What?
No, go ahead.
I had a revelation that I like big women. And I don't just mean like big as in fat. Like I like them tall. I like them. Okay. I like them kind of husky. I just like big women, and I realize I make like Amazons, like tall sort of wrestler type chicks. I like that, and I don't know.
You want a power forward? So you want a power forward from the WNBA? That's what you like.
Nah, they're a little too narrow.
Oh, okay.
They're a little too narrow. I want it to be I want to be able to wrestle a chick. I want to be able to body slam a chick and not break her. I like that.
Type of curves. So you want some type of curves. You want to be able to look at her and be like, I could tell she used to have it back in the day. She put on a little weight, but the curves are still popping out. I could fuck with that. That's the kind of thing you're talking about? Okay. Right. Okay.
Like so you just don't like Kim Wheatley.
So you don't want a giant, because you don't want the giant freeze pops. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't want to freeze pops.
Those. Okay. I don't see. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't want Rebecca Lobo.
Big and it was like this fat.
Yes, I remember those. Yes, I don't want that. I want them to be shaped more like the wrestling bars. There's a lot of wrestling themes I keep going at. I swear that's not on purpose, but.
As a matter of fact, let's stay on wrestling. So.
Okay.
So the shit that you posted the other day on Facebook for the Juneteenth of all the black wrestlers, all the black wrestlers.
Yeah, you're doing that for me.
Yeah. So I was looking at that and I noticed whatchamacallit, it just brought me back down memory lane. And for some reason I stumbled onto Master Slim. My man, Master Reverend Slim. My man. Okay. So they're official.
Yeah, it's those.
Okay.
Yeah, but go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so I was looking at Master Slick. So I was like, let me look up some Master Slick stuff. So I started going to YouTube, looking at all these videos, looking at his Wikipedia, going down his history lane. And when you go to YouTube, you look through the rabbit, you go down the rabbit hole. I stumble upon fucking Akeem The Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Akeem The Dream, aka One Man Gang.
We're gonna
y'all.
We're gonna fight about this, all right? Because I was annoyed with this. I put up I found a way to make Juneteenth, to speak about Juneteenth, about something that I like. So I found a thing with black wrestlers, and I put that up there. And then you come in, oh, what about this? Completely ruined it. And then everyone starts talking about that. I deleted the post. I got so fucking annoyed, I deleted the post. So then you started your thing and tagged me in that shit. I untagged myself from that shit because wrestling is silly. Every wrestler is a stereotype. Every wrestler.
Yeah.
Every wrestler. Hulk Hogan was supposed to be dressed like a leprechaun.
I didn't know that.
Hulk Hogan's original gimmick was supposed to be in Irish. That's why they put the name Hogan, because that's like an Irish name. So he was supposed to have red hair and be kind of leprechaun-y. Every wrestler is a gimmick and a stereotype. Some of them are going to be offensive. It's wrestling.
Yo, but that shit is beyond offensive. That shit is beyond a fucking stereotype.
It's hilarious, though. First of all, Hakeem first, he was a one-man gang.
Yeah.
He was one-man gang.
Fucking Mohawk. Like,
right.
Yes. He was one of the fucking bad guys. He was one of the bad guys out the fucking Nintendo game Renegade.
Yes, he did. He did look like a bad guy from Renegade. But they repackaged him as Akeem the African Dream. It was supposed to be a joke. We were supposed to laugh at it.
Son, I remember laughing at that, but I remember my dad being pissed the fuck off. Cause my dad, Ghana, my dad's from Ghana, so he was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I looked at him like, "What? What do you mean?" I was like, "That's the one-man gang. He got a new costume." He was like, "Nah, that's different." And I'm like 8 years old, so I really don't understand, about cultural appropriation, all that shit like that, and
oh, hell no, son. I was 8 years old too, and I didn't realize it was fucked up, but I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny too. But it's like
I didn't. You thought it was.
I have knowledge.
You thought it was serious.
No. I thought it was funny because the thing is, they was like, "Yo, he's from the deepest, darkest parts of Africa," and I was like, "Where the fuck is that? Is it on the bottom? Is it in the north? Is it in the fucking middle? Where is this place?" And then I was like, "Yo," and the thing is, "Yo, I'm African, so I don't like that shit." The thing is, with Kamala and everything, they asked that nigga to talk, and he sounded like fucking Chewbacca. I hated that shit. I was like, "Yo, why does Kamala sound like Chewbacca? Africans don't talk like that." I was pissed.
Nigga, look at all the black characters in the 80s, if you weren't Ron Simmons or Tony Atlas, was fucked up. But at the same time, it's like there's racism in everything. Everything that exists, there's some white guy saying this is a good idea, right? So they don't have no fucking clue or don't give a fuck, right? So you're gonna get shit like that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think I cut wrestling some slack because wrestling is silly. You know what I mean? It's people pretending to fight. I mean, what? What do you want?
I mean, but damn. But like, so I'm looking at, so when I go through the rabbit holes, I always look at the comments, even though the video could be like 10, 15 years old, I love looking at the comments. And I seen one comment, they was talking about Akeem, they was like, "Yo, Akeem is the biggest wigger. He was the first wigger." I was like, yo. And so that happened. There was like a montage of like highlights, whatever, and all you see is this motherfucker go like this. He's doing this.
That's the way he used to walk his ring.
Yo, I'm like, but that's the most offensive shit ever. And
my nigga, that was John Cena's
gimmick. I remember they was on the huh?
That was John Cena's gimmick.
But John Cena could actually bring it back.
That has nothing to do with it. John Cena's gimmick was the exact same gimmick as Akeem The Dream. It just wasn't as exaggerated as Akeem The Dream. John Cena's gimmick was a wigger. Huh?
There's a little bit more. There's a little bit more layers. The reason why I said John Cena's was a little bit more authentic because I know niggas like that in Worcester that I like that are the same exact thing as John Cena. White dudes who act like that. Who could actually rap. The only between them and John Cena is that those white dudes from Worcester be saying nigga, John Cena don't in public at least. That's the only difference. That don't matter. They're both offensive racial stereotypes, part of a circus. And speaking of racial too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the fuck I was on when I was a kid, because I'm just now getting the fact that Big Boss Man was the gimmick of a racist bigot. I'm just now realizing that.
Yeah, he used to call people boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like,
but at the same time, they were careful with it. They didn't make him go out there and say he didn't like certain colors. They sort of subtly implied it because that's wrestling. Yeah. They're never going to go completely crazy with it.
Of course, it has some type of undertones to it, but you got the gist of his character. Yeah, you got the gist of his character because he was on because I stumbled onto the one when he was on the Arsenio Hall show. Actually, my cousin put me onto it, and I checked it out. And Big Boss Man came out and he called Arsenio boy, and Arsenio he cringed, and I was like, yo, was that rehearsed? Like, did they talk about that before they went on, or did he just like understand this is the character he's playing? Huh?
They definitely did talk about that. I'll put money on it. They didn't. But Arsenio gets it. It's a character.
I want to know that so bad. Because I'm just like, yo, he was like, what you talking about, boy? Because he called him boy at least like 3 or 4 times. And I was just like, man. And it's like, I'm looking at Slick. Slick's like, he's just sitting in the chair like, And you see how Akeem sitting there just like this in the chair. I'm like, nigga, you ain't even walking.
Nigga, Slick was worse. Slick was a pimp.
Oh, yeah, he was a pimp. He was a pimp. Yeah, he had, he had the undertones of a pimp.
But you gotta, but at the same time, though, I don't know, maybe people will find problems with these other characters too. But you had Bad News Brown, you had Junkyard Dog, you had Coco Beware, you had Butch Reed, you had black people that weren't like directly in a box of a stereotype. Like, they had stereotypical things about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'd say any of those guys were straight stereotypes, you know?
No, I don't think so. But, and I understand, you got to understand the times, and everything. So
I'm not trying to excuse it.
Observations. I seen it.
Yo, listen, even as a little kid, bro, I saw Akeem come out. I saw Slick being a pimp. I was like, yo, that's kind of fucked up. Like, the black people is pimps. Akeem is trying to be black. The black people always lose. Like, this is me as a kid watching. You know what I mean? So I see fucked up this, but I'm not going to get bent out of shape over wrestling. It's wrestling.
I mean, as a kid, I get it, but I was a little bit offended of him being African. I was a little offended. But at the same time, I laughed my ass off. Because I understood it. And his fucking move when he used to go to the ropes and do the splash, but he went to the ropes and he'd walk up to the dude like this and do the splash. Yo, that shit, just thinking about that shit now was just hilarious. This thing was always walking like this. And I'm just like, yo, oh man, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. But shout out to wrestling.
The wild shit is racism. Racism is so crazy that it extends to everything. Like, technically, it's not racism, but it looks like racism. In the porn industry, if a white actress does black movies, her price goes down.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I remember he was telling me that.
Like, so if she only does white movies, she can ask for a certain amount. If she does black movies, her price goes down. Now, it's technically not racism. The reason why the price goes down is because the black market is a niche market, and if you do niche stuff, it doesn't make as much money. So anytime you do anything that isn't mainstream, you make less money. So I mean, you can look at how they want. You could just. Some people will say, "Yeah, that's just straight out racism." I don't know, but it's
an interview. I seen an interview with Nat Turner. He was talking about racism in the industry, and he was talking about that. And he was talking about why is it that you have certain. He was talking about certain white porn stars that won't work with black porn stars on film, but behind closed doors. They're calling them up all day, and that's all they messing with.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that. He was talking about the racism in the industry and everything. And it sucks for me because sometimes you see a white porn star and she got everything. She got the equipment. She got, she want to pop it, but she getting done in by a dude who does rabbit humps. And I'm not into white porn. I don't like that fast humping shit like that. It's an art to it. There's an art to it. There's a technique to it. And I hate to sound like a filthy guy.
I feel you on that.
Yes.
There has to be a black dick in my porn.
No, there has to be. And this is not gay shit. This is man. This is not gay shit. Man shit.
Man shit. And preferably for me, I'd rather be a fat guy, but you don't really see too many of those.
The way I watch my porn with guys that are familiar, that are saying that look familiar to me and that stroke just like me. If you're not stroking like me, I can't fuck with you.
You've always been on that weird shit. You told me that a long time ago. I think that's weird. You don't have to remind me of how I do things. just look somewhat. Make me be able to pretend it's me. That's good enough for me.
But that's what it is. But that's what it is. Especially when you're watching porn on POV porn. It's just like, it's almost like, I'm experiencing like
I think
kinda
porn gets a little too close to gets the camera angles are a little too close.
It all depends. It all depends who the woman is. Because I remember the first time I seen POV was with Isla Fox, and I loved it. And I was like, POV is the best. Especially with Isla Fox. Shout out to Isla Fox, though.
Yeah, but sometimes, bro, on the black porns,
legend.
On the black porns, the camera be so close. I feel like so close on a nigga's dick. I feel like I'm watching fucking Star Wars. I feel like I'm looking at the Death Star. So they'll dead ass take the camera and show like a 2-minute thing on the dude's dick like this. Like, oh my God, like that's enough, man. Like, I'm not with that. Matter of fact, I watch porn, the dude's dick can't be much bigger than mine. If it's much bigger than mine, I'm taking out of it.
I mean, to some people, I definitely understand how watching porn, especially black porn, could be very intimidating. And he'd be like, "Nah, we ain't watching that."
I'm not watching no dude with no 10-inch hammer. I'm not watching that because you know what?
I'm saying, give it a straight drive.
You know what? His dick is the star of that video.
Basically.
I'm not with that.
Basically.
I'm not with that.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
The porn I watch, the dick should be a supporting character, not the star.
Starring big dick in this guy.
Dude.
Oh, I'm gonna bugs and shit. Oh man. But speaking of porn, yo. So I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were talking about Lisa Bonet.
I like a piece of her.
Huh?
No, it's a rap song. Keep going.
Yeah, and Lisa Bonet. I used to call her, when say as a kid, I used to call her Lisa Bonet because it was French. Yep. But Lisa Bonet, right? She did what the hell was that movie? It was damn near soft porn. I think it was Angel Eyes with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was like kind of like soft porn, like softcore porn and everything. And Lisa Bonet at her height, we were young. And I remember having like older cousins and older family members talk about Lisa Bonet like she was God's gift, like, oh, Lisa Bonet, Denise. And they were saying when she did that movie, Angel Eyes, it kind of ruined her career. And basically, they were also talking about Lisa Bonet, if she didn't do that movie and she didn't ruin her career like that, she basically would have been what Halle Berry is now. Or would have did what Halle Berry did.
I don't know if she got the acting chops for that.
I don't know.
But
as far as like pretty wise and I think she got good acting chops. But I was like, but I don't know. But I was like, you know, since I was young, I wasn't really paying attention, and I never saw, especially as a kid, I never saw Lisa Bonet like that. I was like, oh, she's a skinny. She was saying she's a skinny, light-skinned girl. What is so big about that? They was like, oh, Lisa Bonet, this is that. Like they was talking about it like she was like, oh man. They was like, oh, she was up there very
I remember that. When I was a kid, the older black cat swore she was the dopest.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't see it. But then again, I don't have hair in my nuts, so I don't know. I really don't, you know. But I was talking.
She gets naked in Angel Eyes and niggas was happy. I was like, so?
That's what I'm saying. They're like, oh, you gotta see that Lisa Bonet. She's doing this and that. And I was just like, okay, she's pouring blood on her and she's having sex with the white guy. Like, I don't get it. It was like, oh my God, she's freaking sexy. This is that. Fucking movie ruined her career. Ruined her career.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. She's a decent actor. I don't know if she's as nice as Halle Berry.
I mean, yeah, who knows? But it's like with more roles, she probably could have showed her range. Because I did see her in a couple years ago, probably like 2 years ago. She did show up in a season of Ray Donovan. You watch Ray Donovan?
No, I don't watch Ray Donovan.
Ray Donovan's dope. Yeah, she showed up in a season of that, and she wasn't bad. She wasn't bad. It was like I was like, yo, she actually could act, and she did a thing on that.
The last time I saw her, she was in Biker Boys, and she had like 3 lines.
Yeah, she had 3 lines.
And then the time before that, she was in Enemy of the State. She played Brill's daughter.
Yep. Nah, yeah, the mistress of Will Smith.
Yeah.
She was the mistress. And I used to funny thing is I used to get Lisa Bonet and Ray Don Chong. What's it? Ray Don Chong?
Ray Don Chong.
I used to get them confused.
Yeah.
As a kid.
I can see that.
Because at the same time, no disrespect to them, but at the same time, around the same time, they both had movies and they were showing their titties. And they was doing crazy things. You know what I'm saying? It's like after Beach Street, she went left. You know what I'm saying? After Beach Street, she was like, nigga, fuck this rap shit. Let me show these titties. And I was just like, all right, whatever. We're gonna see titties. Whatever. Fuck the breakdance. Just show the titties. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I was like, yo, I don't relate it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yo, those who don't know who Ray Don Chong is, y'all look it up. Ray Don Chong.
This
Y'all don't know who Lisa Bonet is. It's Bonet, capital B-O-N-E-T. Look them up. Yo, back in the day, if you were, you were 80s baby, grew up in the 90s, you understand what the fuck I'm talking about. And B Street's a fucking classic. Yeah. And it's like, yo, and speaking of Beach Street, were you ever mad that she was in Beach Street?
Nah.
Ray Dong Charles?
Nah, I wasn't
For
mad.
some reason, I was just so mad because she didn't come off as authentic to me.
But so I know what you mean about being mad because you felt like it should have been like a hip hop person, but she was supposed to be a square. She was supposed to not know about the streets. You know what I mean? I mean, she's supposed to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But hell, man, that's crazy, man. Take a trip down memory lane, and yeah, that's great. But I was looking at an article, right? And it was talking about the Wayans brothers should apologize for white girls.
Yeah.
For whiteface.
Yeah, for whiteface.
And said the brothers should apologize for it. And I was like, yo, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because a person at work brought that to my attention because we always talk about race and everything like that at work. So a person was like, oh, what do you think about this? And they showed me the article and I'm like, have you seen Scarface? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, nobody in Scarface is Puerto Rican or Spanish or Cuban. There's like probably two or three of them. Al Pacino, he's white. His sister Gina, she's white. Frank Lopez is white. Sosa is white. The fucking hitman who's about to blow up the politician, white. The nigga who put Tony on to the Colombians and got his man killed is fucking white. Everybody in that movie is white. Yeah, all white. So I was like,
so I watched the background DVD on that, and Manolo, he's Spanish. Manolo said that Al Pacino said that Manolo used to have to coach him on his Spanish accent.
Yeah, I seen that. And have you seen Manolo lately?
He was in something recently.
Yo, it's like he just started aging.
Yeah.
Because Manolo was in Traffic. Traffic was there 15 years after Scarface. And he didn't age a bit. Nah. Yeah, maybe even more.
It was probably like 20 years after. Scarface was like, what, 81?
I think 83.
And Traffic was what, 05?
Nah, Traffic was like late 90s. I'm saying late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, it was probably like early 2000.
Yeah. And I was looking at him, I was like, damn, this stuff, like, is this the same dude from Scarface? He looked younger. Didn't age a bit. And he finally aged. Now he's in Ray Donovan. He put on weight and everything. He's looking older. And the thing is, in Ray Donovan, he's playing a Jewish guy. He's playing a Jewish guy in Ray Donovan. And I was like, wow.
So the problem with stuff like that is the history behind it. Like, I feel like an actor should be able to play whatever race because it's acting, because you're not that nigga, period. But because of the history of racism in Hollywood, that's not cool. Because so many people were shut out because they were that race or that ethnicity or that religion that is fucked up and you hire someone else to play it. You know what I'm saying? The history of it makes it fucked up.
I mean, shit. I mean, that's all good, but when you have Tom Hanks as the Last Samurai and Matt Damon taking on the Chinese Empire.
Yeah, but hold on. I never understood the heat for Last Samurai. It's about an American soldier who finds his soul in Japan.
I get it.
A lot of people look at that.
Yeah.
a lot of people look at that movie and look at it that he became the best samurai ever. He didn't become the best samurai ever. He became the best version of himself. Like he was an animal and they civilized him. He didn't save them, they saved him. But it's
that was good.
It's a movie, they gotta sensationalize it, so they gotta make him seem like the illest, but
yeah. But what about the Matt Damon movie? You seen the Matt Damon movie when he's taking on the Chinese Empire?
It's a little too ridiculous.
I didn't watch that shit either.
It looked like, you know how people talk shit about Last Samurai? It looked like everything they said about Last Samurai was true about that movie. So I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, watch this.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I didn't get
but it's
like,
you know what movie was that well? Big Trouble in Little China. Watch Big Trouble in Little China again. Who's the hero of that movie?
It's my man Kurt Russell.
Jack Bird, right?
Yeah,
watch that movie.
Yeah, Jack Bird.
Jack Bird is not the hero of that movie. The hero of that movie is Wang. It's Wang's girl they're trying to get. It's Wang who's the date 9 times out of 10. Jack Bird did nothing but get his ass kicked the entire movie. He did nothing but get his ass kicked.
But he killed Lopan.
Accidentally.
No, he took the juice that gave him the confidence to do what he had to do and kill Lopan.
Yo, the nigga threw a Hail Mary knife at Lopan and caught him. And that's literally all he did the entire movie.
He caught it and bowed.
Yeah. But I'm saying, watch that movie again. That nigga's not the hero. As a kid, I thought Jack Burton was the illest. I watched that movie later on in life. I was like, yo, this nigga's the comic sidekick. This nigga's getting his ass kicked all movie.
I think they shared it equally.
What else did he do other than kill Lopan?
Because so you had what's the Asian man's name?
Wang.
He shot in the air, what you call it? But they still gave him his credit.
And after he knocked himself out, he accidentally stabbed the guy with his boot knife. And then he spent the most of that fight trying to get his boot knife back. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. But at the same time, all that trumps all that trumps everything when you take out the head guy and say the head guy. It's almost like when you play in the game, right? It's almost like you play in the game and you trying to get it's almost like this. It's almost like
it's like this. It's like I'm playing with LeBron. LeBron puts us into 1 point, one basket away, and I hit the winning basket, and that's the only basket I score. It's like that.
Yeah.
I didn't win the game though.
But at the same time, yeah.
It's the same exact thing. I didn't win the game. I hit the final shot. I did something great, but I had nothing to do with us winning because, checking it like this, if I didn't hit that shot, motherfucking LeBron would have. So, if Jack Burton didn't hit that shot, Wang would have.
Not necessarily get out to you, because because he kicked it out to you. Just like I'm saying, just like Jordan, just like for instance, right? When Kobe's last championship, when they were playing Boston, Kobe was having a hard game. One who stepped up was Ron Artest, and if it wasn't for Ron Artest, they wouldn't have won. Right. And it's like when you look at that game, it's always looked as that Laker dynasty. It's not, Kobe did his thing and Kobe brought them to the championship or whatever, or Kobe won the championship. It's always looked at as, huh?
I feel like you're getting off topic. What's your point?
Anyway, basically what I'm saying is that I get what you're saying, but
Jack Burton ain't the hero of that movie.
I think they shared it equally. That's what I think. I think they shared it equally.
My nigga, he did nothing.
I don't know. I don't know. Moving on. So we talked about that. Oh, let's talk about white blessings. White blessings, man.
Oh yeah, you sent me a video on that. What was that again?
Yes, look, that's us. So I sent you the video of Lecrae sitting down with Pastor.
Yeah, who is Lecrae? I heard that name before. Who is he?
All right, so Lecrae is a Christian rapper. He's like the Christian rapper. He's like the Jay-Z of Christian rappers. He's like the top of the top Christian rapper. But he's actually nice. He's actually nice. And so he had a so he had a conversation with the CEO of Chick-fil-A, and I forgot which pastor of a mega church. And so they were talking about racial issues, and basically the pastor was basically saying to Lecrae that there was a blessing coming from slavery, and when they talk about white privilege, instead of saying white privilege to combat the guilt of white people, he wanted to change it to white blessings instead of white privilege. Call it white privilege instead of white blessings, because there was a blessing that came from slavery. We basically, from slavery, the foundation of America was built. And Lecrae was just like, he was nodding, he didn't say nothing. And a lot of people were in kind of Lecrae's ass for that, because they was like, yo, how are you gonna let this man say that slavery was a blessing, and that instead of white privilege, I'm gonna call it white blessings? Basically, the benefits of slavery, you're gonna call it white blessings, and you're just gonna sit there and just nod. I'm saying it's like in agreement with them. But in context, the long video, Lecrae did come at him, but he didn't lash out like everybody wanted him to. And people kind of chalked that up to him being the when they say, oh, religion's dangerous, when it comes to race, because they're submissive to their oppressor or slave masters and things like that. I'm saying white skin, praying to Jesus and everything like that. And they were saying the Christian part of him was submissive to him and didn't go at him, and shit went at him, and religion's a crutch to him. And so so that's what I was trying to put you on to. But
so a couple things in there. I think that they're absolutely right on that part with the whole, because a lot of people, it's like, if you ask them what they were, they would say Christian man, black man. You know what I mean? So I think there's some truth to that part of it, that he don't want to come at the throat of his religious elder. I definitely think there's some truth to that. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But on the other thing, I don't know why he had to like bark on him, because all he did was change the word, and they both are fucked up. White privilege and white blessing, they are both fucked up terms. If you're talking about someone benefiting from slavery, and the term you come up with is white privilege or white blessing, I don't see how either one is better than the other.
I mean, but white blessings are different. I don't know. That shit just hit me different when he said white blessing.
Is it not a white blessing?
It is, but motherfucker, you ain't gonna call that shit in front of me like that. It's just like, yo,
look. All I'm saying is, peace pipe, crack pipe, same thing.
So the same thing, but like, yo, I'm like, I was waiting for him to be like, white blessings, like, yes, but what about the fucking black people, the slaves that fucking lost their lives, and the fucking generations of fucking black people that were left behind? I know, I get that.
So,
but it's like,
the thing that bothers me is that we are arguing about the term instead of what the term represents. What the term represents is bad. So I don't really care what you call it. It's bad.
but that's why people wanted to be like, yo, Lecrae, let him know, like, motherfucker, like, no, like, that shit don't fly.
What don't fly? Changing the term to make white people more comfortable? That is the part about it that's offensive to me. Like, changing the term to make white people more comfortable with it, that's the issue I take with it.
That too. And also, that's what people were saying about him, saying that he doesn't, like, since he's Christian and he's a pastor and everything, you didn't want to make white people feel uncomfortable with your backlash, so you kind of tiptoed around the situation.
Yeah, see, I'm all for that. I don't like, so that part of it, they're right about that. All right, I'll admit that. Changing the terminology to make white people more comfortable is fuck all that. Fuck all of that. You know
yeah,
fuck all that.
Not that either.
But on the other end of it, people will change terminology to make them less comfortable.
Explain.
Like, people are all about making that conversation about race as hard as possible for white folks. People are all about it. I'm not with that either. Like, I'm not going to change terminology and make it easier for you, but I'm not going to try to make it harder because I still want to have I still need to have the conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go out of my way to make it more uncomfortable for you. And I think that people do that.
Yeah. And speaking of comfortable, it was funny because I had a conversation again, with people at work, and there was what were we talking about? We was talking about opinions. I'm saying opinions when it comes to race, and a lot of times, coworkers white. A lot of times he'll say, I'm not racist, but this is my opinion, and I don't care what people think about me because this is my opinion. But then can I get it? It's your opinion, whatever. You're not saying that you're racist, but that's how you see things, whatever.
Right.
And then I'm saying, then he turns around and says, say, well, you got to be careful on how you convey the message because you can't respond negatively because some people will turn off. You kind of shoot yourself in your foot because some people will be turned off by that and it gets nowhere. And my thing was like, okay, so if you say something that's offensive and you want me to dismiss the offensive part because it's your opinion and you want me to be cool with that, but yet when I say something back to combat that, now you're offended that I'm offending you because of it. I'm saying just because it's your opinion. So you can't tell me, you can't slap me in the face and say, oh, please don't hit me back, because that's not the right thing to do. Because if you hit me back, that's a negative thing, and two wrongs don't make a right. No, it don't go that way. Motherfucker, if you say some, if you keep that energy of on some offense shit, regardless if it's your opinion or not, I have the right to voice my opinion and match the same energy that you're matching. It's just like, don't fucking, it's like the whole thing. It's like, throwing rocks and hiding your hands. Talking about, like, nah, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. It's like, if you, okay.
That's absolutely right. And so that's why I feel like the subject of race is a touchy topic because.
And that's privilege. That's privilege. I'm saying that's privilege and entitlement. In a way. Because basically saying I could be offensive and deem it as my opinion, but you can't come back because you have to be nice. Even though I say some hard shit, you have to be nice because I'll be turned off to it.
But I think that's just people. I don't know where the privilege comes in right there. I think it does. I haven't really broken down where it comes in because like I know I grew up arguing with people. I grew up arguing and I've learned how to argue. I've learned how to win arguments. and to where I feel like I walked away changing the way someone thought. That's the way I look at winning an argument. I feel like I walked away changing the way someone thought. And unfortunately, the way to change the way someone thinks is to not allow them to shut down. So it's, while this person doesn't have the right to say that to you, they don't have the right to feel like that, because fuck you. I don't have to curtail the way I speak to make you more comfortable. But at the same time, that's most likely how you're going to win the argument.
Yeah, because it's almost like, for instance, like Trump, right? Trump will say the nastiest shit to people, but when people talk badly about Trump, his supporters will be like, "Oh my God, you always got something negative to say about Trump. You never say nothing nice about Trump. You never say this and that." I'm like, yo, but he never says nice things to people anyway. So now when this shit comes back, we're being negative, or we don't have anything to say nice about him. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, so he can say all the foul shit he wants and everything, talk about this, talk about that. But when it's time to receive that same energy, we're the ones that's being aggressive and saying and wrong and mad and everything like that. I'm like, no, it don't work like that.
But so again, it's a catch-22, bro, because you're right in your stance, but are you gonna win that person over with that?
Put it like this. My thing is,
see your point with that. I'd argue most of the time they're not. So I don't. It sounds like I'm saying some fucked up shit right now. So let me clarify what I'm saying. I don't believe in making white people more comfortable. I don't feel like we have to do that. On the same token, I feel like if you are trying to sway someone and let them see your side of the argument and change their view, I feel like some of that has to happen. Because I feel like people shut down when you start throwing the fucked up shit that they do in their face.
Yeah, that too, but I'm not into tiptoeing. I'm not into tiptoeing to make people feel comfortable. I hate that shit. And the thing is like, if you're gonna lash out at me or say some shit that's offensive, and I tell you it's offensive, and you dream up as, hey, well, that's just my opinion. All right, cool. I'm gonna give you my opinion, and it may be stronger. And hey, you may not like it, you may not, but at the same time, if you're not willing to understand that situation, no matter how harsh it is, when we're talking about a real touchy subject, then you wasn't trying to change, you wasn't trying to listen in the first place. You was just trying to get your shit off, say what you feel, sit and say whether it's truth or not, and then you turn around and deem that as your opinion, so you don't want to look like the bad guy or whatever.
And that's why I don't engage with motherfuckers, because most people are that. Most of the time, in the way I view debating, I feel like you have to tiptoe and kind of take their feelings into consideration when you speak. I feel like you have to do that in order to win them over, which is the reason why I stay out of debates with people. Because if I'm passionate about something, I can't consider your feelings. I'm going to tell you how I feel and fuck how you feel. And I feel like that's not going to work. So I don't get into it with people. Like, if you feel like, if there's someone who is trying to not see how they see, if there's someone who's trying to look through my eyes, if there's someone who is trying to get a different view of something, I'll engage with you. But if there's someone who is just like normal people aren't trying to hear that. Normal people, how they feel is right there. Even if they're being polite, how they feel is right there. And those people, I won't engage with. And I've been telling you that for years. Stop arguing with these motherfuckers. Not just white people. Like, stop arguing with motherfuckers.
That's anybody, not just white people. Yes, anybody. But what I've learned to keep my emotions out of certain things I feel passionate about. Just as the fact that, probably to make them feel comfortable, because I don't want to come off as the angry, aggressive black guy, you know. And just like how you saying, like last week, how we was talking about that, how sometimes, how if you want to have a productive conversation about race, you can't just be like, be all authoritative and aggressive with it, and motherfuckers get turned off. Like, oh, here we go, touch a subject about race. We can't talk about them because they're getting angry and they're kind of getting combative, So I learned how to take the emotion out of it and speak calmly. And, some things, may be harsh, but I'll say it in a nice, even tone to the point where it's easy to digest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and I don't like doing that. So I stay out of conversations but again, I'm gonna say it again. I feel like if you and me are arguing about something, and I feel like you're dead wrong, right? The only way I'm gonna get you to see that you're wrong is by me taking into your account your feelings, by me not overstating my thing to shut you down, by me kind of dancing around it a little bit to try to get you to hear me. Because if I'm like, nope, you're wrong, and here's why. Nobody hears that.
Yeah, no one hears that.
No one hears that. So then you add the idea of race into it, where black people get passionate and white people get defensive. You're not doing anything in that argument. You're wasting your breath, their breath. They walk away feeling how they feel, and you walk away feeling how you feel.
Yeah. And another way I learned how to do how to debate is to speak as if this person has no idea what's going on and you're really trying to educate them. So don't use phrases like "nope, you're wrong," "no, that things like that to the point where it's calling them out. But it's to the point where it's like it's more of an understanding and more of a teaching instead of a fucking chastising, pointing like, "No, you're a fucking piece of shit." You hear me saying this, and that.
Yeah,
I learned that too.
I say shit like, "Here's my problem with that statement." You know what I mean? Like if they say something and I don't fuck with it, I'll say, well, okay, but here's my problem with that statement. You know what I mean?
Well, look at it like, something like that. Yeah.
And another thing I try to do, this is not just about the race debate. I try to consider the possibility that there may be a part that I'm missing. There may be something that I don't know, that I didn't realize, that I didn't think about, right? I try to keep that there in order for me, because I feel like the only way to make sure you are right in your convictions is to question your convictions. I feel like it's the only way to be certain that you're right in your convictions. So I do that. But my problem is I think I do that too much, and I empathize with the person I'm debating with a little too much sometimes. So.
I got you. Speaking of amplifying, did you watch the Dave Chappelle special?
Yes, I watched it, and I didn't like it because I felt like I was gonna cry at certain parts of it. It was not fun. It was not.
No, it wasn't comedy. It wasn't comedy.
Yeah,
I felt like it was concerning.
Like I'm the type of person that even if it's the truth, I don't feel like paying too much attention to it if it's just gonna bring me down. It's the truth I already know. It's the truth that I already know.
And the crazy thing was, right, listening to him go in and talking about the Chris Donner situation, the cop who waged war on the cops and killed killed the daughter of the cop and everything and had the standoff.
Yeah.
I didn't know that much about the situation, and it's crazy how the media manipulates certain shit because I didn't know, like I didn't know the background of it. Like I didn't know he was fired, and how he went after appeal and couldn't get his job because he was basically being a good cop. He was like, no, that was wrong. I'm gonna pull you up on it, and got into a fight with another cop, whatever, because she was doing some fucked up shit. And basically, for standing up, they basically fired him, and they didn't give him, they never let him back in. And so this motherfucker was like, fuck it, I'm waging war on you motherfuckers because this is what it is. And I'm saying that's what it is, war. Like, I didn't know that. The way the media put it out was like, this motherfucker's a road cop, went kind of crazy, and started killing people. I didn't know that he was waging war on cops.
Yeah. So the media will definitely put spins and put narratives there that ain't there and sway the public. So that's why, like, when people share these headlines on social media and people start getting all amped up by these headlines, I chill because I'm like, yo, we only know a portion of what we're reading. Like even good headlines, if they like when I saw that the mayor painted Black Lives Matter on the streets, I didn't believe it. I was like, yeah, and I'll believe it when it's,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'll believe it when it's shared by multiple news sources or whatever, you know, because like, you gotta realize something. They're not gonna tell us everything.
Of course not.
They're gonna give us bits and pieces of shit
Mm-hmm.
to keep us paying attention to the news and to sway us to one side or the other on an issue. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta just take everything with a grain of salt. You froze up.
Hold on. See, I know this kid's back on the internet. I know he better not be back on it.
Wrap up anyway. It's been 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, it's been 2 hours. But was there something else I wanted to speak about?
We didn't speak about Serious Jones.
I don't really care about that right now.
Me neither.
I don't really care about that right now. That was just filler. That's all it is. That was just filler. Cause I be going, say through the week, I hear something interesting, I'll note it down. And I'll be like, all right, that's probably something. I'll probably have a list of 20 things, just in case, whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's go through that. But I think that was it. I don't know. I think there was more. Yeah, no, nigga, he did that shit.
He did that shit.
He did that shit. And this nigga rapping, this nigga rapping and doing battles in jail over the phone.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he's rapping and doing battles over the phone.
Yo, to this day, Serious Jones had one of the illest schemes ever. When he told the dude, you're the type of nigga that if you get locked in the clink, your cellmate will have you bent over the top of the sink, and the guard come by, he gets startled, he dropped his drink. And you run behind him talking about, it's not what you think.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, yo, that is the most impressive thing I've ever heard in battle rap, in my opinion.
Son, I remember watching. I seen Serious Jones for the first time on Fight Club when the first time when he battled.
That was a Fight Club.
Yeah, and I was like, yo,
y'all hold it down. Remember that dude?
Yeah, that dude's the worst. I don't know.
He had.
I was like so high. Yo, the worst. Yo, straight New York. He was like, yo, New York be like, yo, that's New York, right? And so I was so high on gin because you never seen it like that at that time, and like you really wanted this nigga to win because he's Asian, and he was like, you know, he was something outside of the culture that was really representing the culture. So you really wanted this nigga to win because he was the underdog. And when Serious Jones came in, I was like, damn, he made this nigga look so fucking stupid. And I was like, this nigga Serious Jones is nice. He's really nice. And I remember, right, when he was battling Charlie Clips. And I remember Charlie Clips came the first round and straight ate him the first round. And I was like, ooh, well, it's gonna be hard to come back. This nigga, Serious Jones goes back in Jersey. You know, I used to be a barber, so I know how to handle clips. That's how we started. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm like, damn, anything Charlie Clips just said, I don't care about no more. Serious Jones, tell me more. But at the day, that nigga saying he's piece of shit for what he did and everything, allegedly. If he did that, allegedly, whatever, shit. Yeah, you know.
Whatever.
And speaking of Juneteenth, with the Juneteenth and everything, yo, did you know that the Juneteenth flag was red, white with the star and the power symbol in the middle? Did you know that was the Juneteenth flag?
I didn't know that.
I thought the Juneteenth flag was the red, black, and green.
Yeah, well, so the flag I have in my bedroom, my brother, he found that somewhere, and he said, yo, ain't this dope? I was like, as far as I'm concerned, that's the African-American flag, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So I
guess that's the Black Panther. I guess that's Black Panther. That's considered the Black Panther African-American flag.
I like that flag for two reasons. One, like it or not, I'm an American. I'm an American. So I want to have an American flag that I feel like represents me. I remember when I was working YouthNet, we had a rep your flag party. This little black girl, we were talking about it. We're telling people, you know, you rep your flag, you bring your flags or whatever. This little black girl was like, well, what flag do I bring? They were like, what are you talking about? Where are you from? She's like, I'm from here. They were like, bring the American flag. And she was like, oh. Like, it just shows she didn't think about it, but being a black person in this country, you don't think that flag represents you. You just naturally don't.
That's crazy. She's a kid.
Yo, she was like 8, 9 years old, bro. And she didn't pop that flag. And when they said bring that flag, she was like, oh. She was like, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? And I remember I was like, wow, I was blown away by that because I've never felt like the flag represented me. You know what I mean? So
yeah, of course.
When I saw the red, black, and green flag, I was like, that speaks to me. That's the African American flag, as far as I'm concerned.
And it's so true because even when you see people hanging a flag outside their house, you kind of look at them different.
Yeah.
You're like, you kind of look at them almost like low-key racist almost.
Yes, because here's
black person hanging the flag out. You're like, all right, you're a veteran, but you love America.
You ever see Gangs in New York?
Yeah.
Remember how Bill the Butcher was racist against anyone who wasn't born in America?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like there's a lot of that in this country that no matter where you came from, if you weren't the first niggas here, as far as they're concerned, you're a mutt. You're not American. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like that flag sort of represents that.
Yeah, I get that 100%. And the funny thing is that even with that, the African American flag, the order of the colors, the red, blue, and green. The only reason why I'm able to remember that is because of Dead Prez. I'm an African.
Yeah.
Red is for the black is for the gun on my palm. The green is for the child. That goes natural. That's the only reason why I'm able to remember those colors. But other than that, I feel they should make that the African American flag the official Juneteenth flag. That's what I think they should do. Because that Juneteenth flag, it's the red, white, it's like red, blue, and then it got like a star in the middle with the comic book POW symbol. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen it.
You know what I'm talking about, the POW symbol? Yeah, it's kind of corny. It's kind of corny. No disrespect. Yeah, it's like, come on. It's like what they're doing to Thundercats. It's like what they're doing to Thundercats. Yeah, I don't like that.
Nah, man.
I
don't like it either. But whatever.
Yeah, it looks like the new version of it's like almost like what the new version of Thundercats looks like now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man. That red, that red, black, and green go way harder than that.
Yeah.
Way harder than that.
It's like Teen Titans and then Teen Titans Go.
Oh my God. Like, why would you do that?
Teen Titans was so sick, and then they did Teen Titans Go.
Oh my God. You know what it is? White women. It's white women.
Kind of.
It's violent. It's violent. We can't get to doing that. But yeah, man, we wrapping this up, man. Yeah, we say we got that.
Should I put glue on it?
Nah, let that man do that.
Yeah.
Let that man, because you bought a product, he's supposed to live up to that product.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so you get, yeah, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
All right. Anyways,
y'all go by Global Karate.
D-Mobile across the globe.
Global Karate. I'm about to fry some motherfucking fish.
Word.
That's what I'm about to do. Fry some motherfucking fish.
Save me some.
But yeah, anyways, we got it here. Peace.
Peace.